Hi guys, thanks so much for joining me. Paulina here, talking to you about this very important topic for us all, which is the solar eclipse happening on the 29th of March. So by now we have to realize things, realize. So that means that we really have to know ourselves better. We have to treat each other with respect. We have to really buy that which we need and not which we imagine. We need to spend our money where it counts. We need to get real. We need to get to know the people that we need. Sometimes we need to associate very quickly because this is the beginning of the year. So this is the time. This is the time to cut the grass. You know, there is an ancient saying, cut the grass while the sun is shining. And it is definitely shining for us all in Aries. So the main problem, the main commitment here I'm seeing that is going against the flow underneath is we got other people to consider. We have things we thought last year we were going to do. We have burdens, and sometimes we have just many things that we didn't do right, and sometimes we have karmas, and on occasion sometimes you'll see a person that doesn't want to do that which they're meant to be doing because they have something else bothering them. So this is the thing that I'm here to help you. So what I really enjoy about this chart actually happening on the exact alignment of moon and sun is that we have fortune, the astrological aspect, very close by. So it's very lucky for us. And even if Venus is in retrograde, she's super cool, and it is always going to be auspicious when Venus is there. So what I'm kind of trying to do here is trying to rebalance you and help you understand where you're going to now. There's no need to hold back. That's the thing. Usually we have a lot of these different movements, especially solar eclipses, where we go, oh, whoa, like, hold on, wait a minute, don't do anything, don't plan anything, because it can fail or it can fall apart. At the moment, I'm feeling that, no, it can't. In some ways, I'm feeling that Aries is too bright, too big, and too certain to take slow steps or to take micro steps. You know, so the reason I'm feeling that a lot of people may be going back and forth is because with their mind, with their thinking there in the past, we do definitely have Mercury and Venus going retrograde at the same time and going back into Pisces. There's going to be a really, really high contrast between, oh, I'm going to have to do this. Oh, no, I should never have done this. Or this is not what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm not going to do it. So it's going to be quite a lot of people also asking us questions. Now, the thing that I'm also leaning into at the moment, which is the projection window, people projecting upon each other. And I've already done the readings for all signs that are going to be available on Patreon, of course, for the next month. And I'm seeing that there's a lot of guidance from other people. Oh, no, this is not how. This is how. That is how. So I'm kind of holding back a little bit with my Patreon channel. I got some recordings that I may not be surfacing because I'm feeling that people need their own timelines. They need to really get to see who they are and also what they are and what they're not in control of. So we really need to get used to that also if you are indeed affected by other people, and also if you're trying to do that which they're doing, and also if you are somehow affected by them to the point where your design, your lifetime, your ideologies, how you look, how you feel, how you are growing is really deeply in the mix between those other people. So we really need to understand if that is happening to you, and if you are kind of morphed and merged and kind of slithered or slathered into a kind of group of people where you are sharing group consciousness. Or for example, if you are living in a shared household, or maybe you are doing something that completely totally depends on other people's opinions. So that's the thing basically that is, I suppose I could say, a trigger for me at the moment. And I'm also connecting to other people, and I'm having a see as to where they are too merged or too slow, like they're just too slow. They don't know what's happening because the conditions between people, the connections, the jobs, the know-how, the shared environments, it's kind of like, oh, I don't know, I got to slow down. I got to respect my elders, or I got to respect my boss. And you know, I don't really have the power of will. I don't really have the power of dominance. But wait, try to go through this yourself. I mean, this is your choice. If you do not want to also get rid of these settings, and if you do not want to combine with other people. So this is the other thing that I'm actually noticing. If you don't want to be any longer waiting upon another and seeing what other people think, maybe it's a really nice time to just get true. And some of the time it's nice to just shake off all burdens and have, respect for yourself, and give it all where you want to be, and do something in contrast. Also, if you're noticing that you have a limited, for example, number of people that you can really care for or count on, if you have a limited account, if you have limited sequences and situations, and you're already like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, this little shyness is actually not going to go a very long way, and maybe underneath is something very vast and even something very scary or very significant. But we really need to know you. We need to know who you are. In some ways it is about coming out with what you feeling and what it is that you're really wanting. In some sequences it is definitely about the body and understanding how to commit to it later on, how you're feeling inside your body, what do you feel about it, how you feel in your home, how you feel in your day-by-day orchestration, also how you don't feel. And sometimes it is just about like, I know, like I'm quite shy to talk about it, but I don't feel very good about this relationship, or like I don't know if I should really be, going along this path. So there are definitely differences, and there's also unities between people. And sometimes, people can help you through, and because of someone else, you can tell the story the way that you want it to be told. So in some people's lives, it is about definitely group significances and hiding behind an elder, hiding behind somebody else, or doing something that somebody else has done already, because we do have a stellium in the sky that is happening between Pisces and Aries there. And it does kind of bring about a question of grouping. It's like, well, I can't do it without my dad's funding, or I can't do it without my mummy's permission. So a lot of it has to do with something else, and this thing is caught onto that, and that thing is caught onto this, and without this or that, I may not be able to respect myself. But try to associate, try to get rigid and real, and try to just go out and have fun. So sometimes the blunt method is to walk out there and just enjoy your time. Sometimes it is just about having a wonderful day, and sometimes it's just about also seeing how far you've come. Pat yourself on the back, for no good reason. Look at the shoes that I've chosen at the store, they fit really well. Pat, pat, pat on the back. Look at this, I can shower now in 5 minutes instead of 20 minutes. Pat, pat, pat on the back. I can now see how my financial situation is going, and I'm not flinching. Pat, pat, pat on the back. I can now discern between different types of people and different types of lifestyles. Pat, pat, pat on the back, and so on and so forth. So we are looking forward for you. We, like people, other people, are probably looking forward for you growing up and feeling enlightened. And that means feeling happier and feeling just grateful for everything, and doing that which you really actually would like or would need to do. The idea is to walk into these rainbow colored universes. I already talked about them, and miracle spaces. We've just actually passed the few degrees that were the deciding factor of which universe you live in, or which reality you live in. So that was between Pisces and Aries. In these last degrees of Pisces and the first few degrees of Aries that have already passed, there is a turning of events that may or may not have happened to do with you, that has to do with real miracles. Wow, I'm starting to see life in a completely different way, or wow, I'm completely awake, or I've grown up just overnight. So these feelings are sometimes faltering, and they can be shallow, and sometimes people are hiding them and they're not letting them through because that that emotion, that feeling is too big, or it is too scary, or it is too redonkulous. And some of it is, and sometimes we have to basically get together with that feeling. So for example, if you had a crazy hunch, if you had an idea, if you had a mission, if you had a feeling, if you also had a faltering energy or something fell, you really needed to appreciate and respect it, and really, really love, associate, and rejoice with yourself, respect yourself, get to know who she or he is, try to understand why they've made certain decisions, and also call it and protect it. Sometimes it is about protection, say, for example, patented design, you have to patent your design, you have to respect yourself as a creative. Maybe it is about protecting you and your friends and family. Maybe it is about protecting your household. Maybe it is about protecting your skin from the sun, sure. Maybe it is about protecting yourself from projections from other people. Maybe it is about not seeing the joy where it once was. Maybe it is seeing lots of joys and miracles where they were not once, or were not so strong for a while. Or maybe it is even to some degree coming back to a previous job. So previous judgment, sometimes, okay, I had it so much better 20 years ago, I'm gonna just come back to that ground, or I'm not sure. So that's the thing, the thinking behind regressing back. Although we do have Mercury and we do have Venus going back into Pisces, although it is no man's land that they're actually crossing at the moment, it is a very, very hard feeling when you know oh yeah, I should have just chosen whatever I kind of had like 14 years ago. I'm going to go back there, I think. I think I had it pretty good back then, and I don't really, it's not that you don't trust the future, it's like you don't really see it, you don't really see it completely aligned with you. So there's when we have to like repeat certain visions, you know. So for example, if you have been kind of dubbed to be really good at something in your 20s or 30s or 40s, whenever it was, and now you are thinking, yeah, I'm going to go back there, I think that was the time, that was the plan. Nope. If you are going into very, very high frequencies, you should not reference, cross-reference, or use previous designs. But unfortunately, some people can't go forward because sometimes of the messes that they've made, or the people that they've met, or things they haven't yet metabolized, or the answers that they're seeking or looking for. So hence, certain human beings, certain potential is definitely thwarted, and we do not have enough time to leave that which we are doing, which we've done, and look out for something better, bigger, and juicier, and funner, and newer, and crazier, and just better off. We can't be there. We can't breathe fire. And that's when sometimes people say, oh, this just age. You know, like I'm aging. That's how come I can't kind of go back, but I shouldn't probably go forward without something that I've already sort of schemed in the past. And, you know, Polina, don't you think it's just better off if I just go back then? And that's when we have these artificial things. Sometimes we don't have a lot of energy. Sometimes, you know, we don't have a lot of control over things. We've got to repeat the same visions, repeat. We have to repeat the same dream. We are going into the backwaters of life. We just don't really want to be at the cutting edge. And what I mean by cutting edge is, you know, Aries usually will always favor the young and true. It will always favor that which has never been before. It will usually like you doing things that are completely out of your nature or previously, or going where you haven't gone before. It is really about the novice. And that is when we have people that are very much orchestrated differently, dressing differently, doing different things, have completely different vision of life, and have absolutely no choice but to go forward. And that's a very naked position in life. It's like a baby being born, which is what Aries really is. And it is very, very difficult, and it has a lot of deficits. Like, I don't have anybody standing by me. The elders may not respect you, or a previous community or an existing fate will not recognize you. Certain people in your world will be like, you know, like, no, that's not how. And sometimes this is where we have collectives and the struggle of filling in spaces. Sometimes the most boisterous and the most, not necessarily hedonistic, the most curious person who is actually really interested in life and really interested in having some kind of progress will not be cared for. Sometimes they will be the runt, they will be just seen as a weirdo until they have a following of their own. And quite often, like, that will not happen for ages, and then suddenly, yeah, okay, cool. Oh, sorry, you were right. That was the way. That was the choice. So that's the thing, like the thinking pattern is not necessarily all about it, but some of it is very alpha. It's not necessarily needed for many people, but for some people there is a definite curiosity, which brings about natural innovation. Curiosity also part of the buzz and the vibration and the natural growth cycle of life. You know, so if your nervous system is really, really peaked and you're really, really smart, you're feeling like, wow, what if I do this or that? Like, you are naturally lighting up. This basically means to me that you are ready to learn. And this is one of the greatest gifts of a lifetime, when you have got a hold on yourself, of your body, to such a degree where you are experimenting and you're experiencing things as if for the first time. So this is maybe, well, you may not necessarily be new at things, but you really want to do it a different way. You really want to enter a new cycle. You want to be reborn. You want to be a new person. You want to see a brand new vision of you. You want to see a brand new vibration come through that which you have done already, or that which you're doing now. So this is a very interesting experimentation window. And also, as I said before, we do have Fortune crossing this stellium, and she will be bringing so much more than often. So like these changes that are happening, although they are galactic global changes for some people, there's going to be a really nice, smart and needed change. It's going to be a smart time. So you're working with smart time. So that means, like, for example, you're no longer using the same stuff, you're no longer using the same apps, you're not having the same people around, you're no longer whining about your mom, or you're no longer thinking about things in a way that they were thought of before. So this is a very, very exciting connection. Sometimes people can be very, very hard on themselves during this time. And as I said, they've got like these little tippy toes and they're wondering, oh no, like it's not up to me, it's up to someone else, or like, somebody else thinks I should be doing this, and somebody just gave me a mop and told me to clean the floor, and I suppose I should be doing this, so like sometimes people do that, and sometimes they're kind of correct. It's like, well, somebody gives you this, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And quite often people will often just make do. The best choice is not to make do, and to go into the best, most optimum and most quantic ways of thinking, where you really actually enjoy who you are and what you're doing. So you are experiencing yourself in the physical moment, and you're getting like younger by the minute, or you're getting more curious, or you're just getting more excited. Or you are no longer feeling difficult, like things are no longer difficult. And this is sometimes about being effective. It's like you say something and it is heard. You do something and it is effective. You make a change and it works. This is what we are looking for. We're not looking for knocking on doors. We're not looking for, hey, let me in, let me in. This is the worst part of Aries, like knocking down windows and doors, trying to get into people's bedrooms, trying to get in their brains, trying to unlock a safe, trying to unlock some kind of potential. This is the weirdest choice sometimes that people have. It's like, no matter what, I'm going to knock down this wall and I'm going to get to the other side. And the better choice here is, I suppose, to have a look as to the magic, even the glamour, the twinkling, the shining, the glittering of life, and enjoy it. So it is mega about enjoyment. It is mega about having fun, about lighting yourself up not for some kind of question of whether or not I'm going to pull this off or not, whether or not I should work extra hours or not. It is definitely not about working extra time, and it is not ever going to be about, like, say, people and their needs and their wants and their projection, and somebody called you that, and somebody called you up saying this, and somebody tripped you up, oops, sorry, so we just have to leave the burdens of the past alone and ignore it, ignoring the calls from the praying caller, ignoring the friend that just wants you to do things for them, ignoring the family member that will call you names, ignoring it. And eventually trying to start out what you actually want. So in your body, if you jiggle your body, there is a jelly feeling, like the feeling of life, the feeling of tissues building. Aries is magnificent for the body. I'm a big fan of that. Are you? And also we do have Mars in Cancer, another cardinal sign, and it's perfect for Aries because it really builds us up. It's really good for collagen. It's really good for growth hormone. It's really good for certain hormones, estrogen, testosterone. It's really nice to, get that feeling going for no real reason. And sometimes, when kids are just like jiggling around, wriggling around, and they just like it. Also, people that are 8, 9, 10, maybe even 12 years old that just have that interest, that vigor and the curiosity, they'll just bounce around. So just about working with the body, or looking at the body as something that is full of potential that has not yet been. Enjoying the interesting way that it builds tissues, maybe even without you knowing it's built some new tissues, and having fun with it. It's like, oh yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling more bounce in my knees. I'm feeling more bounce in my joints. I'm feeling more movement in my spine, and letting it be kind of like a safe feeling to really fully walk into your body and know that it is there as an experience, that it is there and it is yours. And yes, of course, I talked a little bit about this in the recording. I'm not sure if I'm going to post it or not. Certain people definitely don't feel like their body is theirs. This can happen after childbirth. This can also happen with a person who's constantly working or arguing with themselves. It can be with a person who's had too many partners, and also it can be with people that have had out-of-body experiences, car crashes, and also like definitely, accidents and too much substances. Or people that are bored all day, every day, they're just scrolling on their phone. So that's the thing, depression takes it out of you, negativity also. I don't want to go into that, but there's need to walk inside and know that you are welcome inside your own body. That you are welcome inside your own home, that nobody's going to tell you to go. There is no entity, energy, or person that could possibly bully you out of where you belong. So that's a nice feeling, and I'm really comparing this to people that are maybe 8, 9, 10, years old, 11 years old, before we hit puberty. There's a really nice feeling of, yeah, I am me. You know how kids are kind of like goofy at that time? And what I really like about that age is like, yeah, I like me. I like my body. Look at these cool shoes I got on the internet. Aren't they cool? They're cool. Look at my hacky sack. Things like that. It's just about feeling proud. And not feeling proud in a conceited sort of like, am I okay kind of way. It's not about arching your back. It's not about making those feelings. It's not about mannerisms or, trying to respect and not respect other people. Because that's all just conceited behavior that is meant for getting something out of someone else quite often. So the best way that I would probably say is go back into maybe some of your proudest moments in life. See what happened there. Feel good. Feel happy. If you like, you can jump or bounce on your feet. Feel what that feels like. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah, it's not very sexy. It's not very amorous, or it's not very like cataloged or catalog worthy. It's not very glamorous. But that's the point. So the scream of life that is Aries, the point of this time is to feel really just cool and good about who you are. It's not about whether or not somebody would think is great or somebody would think it's extreme. It's more just like the point of it is just like, moving and bouncing and grooving and feeling great, feeling grateful for your day, feeling grateful for your body. It doesn't have anything to do with fashion though. It has nothing to do with whether or not you fit or somebody's gonna buy something or respect you or do something for you. So we got to get the manipulator out of your brain. Can we do that? Do you think this is possible? Do you think this is likely? So the manipulative aspects of humanity is like, if I sit like this, if I pout like that, will I get what I want? The main thing that we need to become is above it, going above roles. And sometimes, yeah, submissive roles, submissive also female behavior, sometimes, or male behavior sometimes as well. Submission, no longer being submissive, no longer, being like this at the beckoning call, no longer asking people for help, and also no longer marketing that which has no real true connection to who you are inside. And the best thing, the best idea, the best feeling of this, the best sense of that is just to, walk your own way. So that means if your feet can carry you, walking your own way, if you can carry that bag, your bag, don't ask anyone else to carry the bag. Walk your own way. So it's just about how much can you carry. This is the law of nature. If you are, harvesting, gathering, if you are, fighting for survival in the wild, like say if you were in your true nature, being kind of like an animal, would you need that much more? How much can you carry? That's the question. Can you carry yourself? Can you carry your weight? Do you have too much weight on you and you cannot carry it? If you don't want that project, don't carry it. If you don't want that bag, don't carry it. And eventually the moon will serve you right, because it is not meant to be there and it'll go. And what I really enjoy about it, it is a risk-free feeling, because it is just, yeah, it's cut and it's done. It doesn't have like the murmur, it doesn't have the philosophy. It doesn't have the feel, it doesn't have the neighborhood, the neighborhood ideology within itself actually, because this is an Aries moon, and it shouldn't be about anybody else actually. It should just be like, okay, this makes sense, cut, snap, okay, cool, let's get out of here. That's the feeling that I'm feeling about this particular cycle. And then basically what we have is a completely new thing, and what you've got is yours. Yeah, I could carry this. Yeah, this is mine. Like say this gift is mine, or like this house is mine, or like this thing is mine. And we need to be very, very interested in that which stays over after the moon. So how to act, how to plan this out. As I said earlier, it's too bright and zany a time to sit at home and plan for the moon. It is horrible to like wait and take very, very sad, tiny little sort of sulky steps. Also notice if you have submissive, sad, also whining behavior, and it is just kind of regressing, it's becoming part of your DNA, it's become part of your philosophy, it's become part of your idea. You know, it's like you have to cry in front of people to get something going, or you have to ask, you know, people for money, or you have to buy this or buy that, or eat this or eat that. So any kind of dependencies and sense of worth or worthlessness. It's about worthlessness and not sufficient respect for the day. Like, say, you just can't wait for the day to come, and then also for the day to end, you know. It's really, really important to respect. So respect being the big word, and try to respect what is yours and what you have. And sometimes people don't like it. It's like, oh, my kid, nah, I don't like my kid. But like, this is your kid. You need to respect the fact that you have brought up a child. You know, you have to respect where you have come from, also how you dress, how you carry yourself. And if you definitely don't feel like this is about you, you know, there are chances of change, but we have to also be careful and not regret the changes that we may push or initiate or ignite, because volcanism will always come with Aries and sometimes with some regrets. You know, so without context, we can make some bad choices. So basically, what you want to do is you want to take care of yourself maybe after the changes happen and realizations come through, and also slightly before. So the moon is between like 8:30 and 12:30 UTC. You know, the idea is to breathe through it. Sometimes it is nice to be alone. This is an Aries moon. It is not about sharing and caring and having a party. It's better to be in your home. Sometimes it is nice to feel what you are feeling, because some of this is biological. You can't tell it to yourself in your mind, but it is happening in your body. It is bouncing around your organs and your tissues. And sometimes, quite often, people don't want to share that which they know or which they feel. So the idea basically is to come out and take some time during the eclipse and feel it out, and also notice what not to do, like how not to present yourself, what not to be, and also what not to become, and breathe through it and understand it and feel it and have some compassion, be compassionately yours, and maybe the choice is yours where you're going from there. But this is going to be really also hard to breathe. It's going to be really hard to build for some people. If, for example, one of their prides and joys is going away, one of their projects has stopped making sense, or maybe, you know, if anything lacks a joy, or the life force inside of that, which it is. And this is an important part. Notice when you don't have any life force in a project, or if you don't have any life force in your body, this is going to be a very, very exact time to really think about it. And then eventually we have something that is of growth, something that is of matter, of worth, and that you keep and that you stay safe with and you have behind. Meaning, okay, I understand, okay, this is my son, or I understand, you know, this is my world, or I understand I'm becoming this type of person, or I am part of this type of tribe or system of people, you know. So that means to me that you just need to be kind of breathtaking and fun-loving and curious and learning still before the eclipse time. During the eclipse time, it is really wise to stay alone and just feel into what you're feeling, and then eventually we have a new nurture. We have to kind of calm down and ease, because some of the time certain people don't actually know, because they haven't been quick enough, or they haven't been connected enough to themselves to actually feel what is going on. And eventually, inevitably, it is good to be very, very gentle, but to start to roll with that which this time is giving. Is this a good time to be completely passive? Absolutely not. It's a bad time for shadow. Even though we are in a snake year, let's not get into shadow. Sometimes, yeah, there are losses, sometimes there are unpeaceful states, but to do shadow work and to go into some kind of magic realm during Aries is a foolish pursuit. It's just silly. We have to experience the life of the living. I understand why some people would say, you know, with Neptune close by, and, you know, with this moon going over the sun, shouldn't we go into some kind of like ritualistic portal? And I would say absolutely not. It is one of the shittiest moons, pardon my French, to do any kind of magic. It's horrible for any kind of outcomes that you may receive, because there are no bodies, there's no other people, there's no people that may support it. So in terms of maging around, doing something esoteric or doing something underneath the surface, or black magic, or any kind of weird sort of dabbling, this is going to really hurt you later on. So we are going into the now. This is the beginning of the year. This is Aries. This is the start. Best to think about, sure, like your life in this body. Better to respect the body, see what it needs and what it is aching for, what it is hurting from. For certain people that really like to lie and go into other dimensions, or imagine lives, or imagine feelings, imagine something that is not really them, and then eventually start cooking. Maybe that part of you is like a sad feeling teenager, or a stranded adult, or like a melancholic child, and then you basically care for it, give it some grapes, I don't know, hang out with it on the couch, and give it some space. Sometimes it is nice for certain weaker individuals to get some advice from other people. It is nice to lean on a grandmother or grandfather, or just hear what somebody else has to say, but that's the opposite of where we're meant to be. So also understand if you are backbenching, or if you are living with a backbenching person. So for example, you have an incredibly passive partner who doesn't do nothing all day, and you're the one cooking, cleaning, and doing everything, organizing. Please understand that. And where's the reason in it? Maybe it is nice to drop it. And also understand, like, for example, if you are doing something that would probably like release you from the past, like you're self-medicating, taking a substance, so you're kind of doing things, getting in bed with different people, and like making yourself possible in different situations, but you are what? You are not you. You are not entitled to who you are. You are sharing your body, for example, to get some kind of outcomes, or you're not really clear on what it is that you are going through, or what it is that you're doing. So that's the thing, basically. The thinking pattern is, are you awake now? Are you aware now? Do you feel connection to your body? Do you feel happiness? Do you feel like a lifetime of choices is possible, it is in front of you? Or do you feel kind of like regret or shyness? And yes, if we do have a lot of shyness, regret, or tears, you may be better off in the group or stay behind. But no, this is not the best option. Staying behind, being in the group, cuddling up to somebody, sharing your body, sharing your time, or trying to get knowledge from an elder in Aries is a bad choice. You need to go first. You need to go with your own feet. You need to walk this road alone. You need to carry your own freaking bag and your supplies. You need to be able to afford what it is that you're pulling off by yourself. And you have to find yourself attractive. Finding yourself attractive, finding your niche, finding your interest, finding Nemo, finding yourself, and who you are. So basically that's the best qualities that Aries should be working on. No matter, even with the retrogrades and the eclipse, there's definitely a youngness to the season, and a definite diligence that is needed by all of us, most of us, in terms of how we feel. Like learning to define it, learning to realize it, learning to not ask, how do I feel of another person? How do you think I should feel? Knowing what you're worth, and also knowing how to embody. So definitely grounding for certain people. Find support. Some people have to find support. So thank you very much. Enjoy. And I hope that some of this was interesting for you. Much love. Bye.